And indeed, there was more to follow on that morning of October the 14th, 1968. The wheat belt town of Meckering was practically devastated. Few houses escaped damage. A baby was asleep in this house when the quake began. The baby was rescued unhurt by its mother, although bricks had fallen into the pram. 16 people were admitted to nearby Garner Hospital with fractures and lacerations. St. Peter's Anglican Church was flattened. Meckering's only hotel and a cooperative store were among the many other buildings demolished. Meckering resembled a bombed town with buildings wrecked or badly damaged within a 5-mile radius.
Meckering was just another small, quiet country town with a population of about 500 when on October the 14th, 1968, a magnitude 6.9 earthquake hit. The earthquake was strong enough to be felt in Geraldton, also in Albany, and it did some damage in Perth. The little town of Meckering, however, was devastated. Not many people today know the full extent of the damage done to Meckering, and in fact, almost the entire main street was wiped out. The hotel, the co-op, the post office, both churches, and many houses were also badly damaged that they had to be demolished. 70% of the buildings within about a 15-kilometre radius were either flattened or had to be demolished later. 20 people were injured, some needing hospital treatment, but luckily nobody was killed. This can be attributed in part due to the fact that Monday was actually a public holiday and most of the buildings in the main street were empty. One interesting story that emerged from the earthquake was that a farmer noticed his sheep gathering in circles with their heads facing inwards. This was just prior to the earthquake. The sheep seemed to sense that something unusual was about to happen. Many people left the town after the earthquake, never to return, and the population today is less than half of what it once was. What was once the main street is now unrecognisable, and the lack of older heritage buildings is entirely due to the events on that October morning. Links to the east were all but cut. Road, rail and water were all affected, and it took some time for normality to be restored. Meckering began its life as a station on the railway between Northern and Southern Cross. The town was known initially as Weir, but was renamed Meckering in 1897 to match the name of the train station. The name Meckering is Aboriginal in origin and may mean moon over water or perhaps even good hunting. The name was selected by John Forrest since it was originally associated with a nearby spring, and moon over water does seem rather appropriate. Land in the area was first taken up as early as 1849, but the lack of reliable water in the district meant that settlement really languished. It was only once the railway arrived in 1892 that substantial growth started to occur. Meckering is predominantly a wheat and sheep area today. There is a self-contained RV rest area in town located just opposite the shops. There's a pleasant park and a pretty rose garden nearby. One local attraction that we highly recommend you go and see is the Big Camera. This contains an amazing collection of cameras and associated accessories, and is really worthwhile visiting while you're in town. Now we're in the Big Camera in Meckering. Having a look at this rather amazing camera collection. Every camera in here working order, so quite an amazing amount of photographic history on display. light meters and goodness knows what. Old Nikons. Quite astounding. Sadly, one of the places we visited a few years back was a business run by a couple of twin sisters. When we went back this time, it was very sad to see the business had closed down, and goes to show just how difficult it can be to start up a new business in a small country town.